Howdy, you all. This is Doug from at Tramp Traveler, and gonna be kind of a short video this week. Mostly, we're gonna talk about the weather up here in central Michigan, but it's been kind of miserable in Michigan this year. I think we've had more snow already, and today is December 31st. Than what we had all of last winter. Two real big piles of snow hit us, and then a couple of days ago we got snow, but it was really windy, like up to 40 miles an hour, which, my tarp tent out here was puffed right up. I don't know if you can see it past the trailer there, but the skirt of it is lifted up about 1.5 feet off the ground. I have to get out there and stretch that back down. I mean, it was really puffed up, but the good thing about wind, because the door is on this end of it here, and that's the way the wind comes in, is from across here. And so that puffs it up, which is kind of helpful, so I don't get an accumulation on top of the tarp, because you get too much load on there and she'll collapse. And that's where I'm keeping my car. And I've had that tarp tent for I think this is the 5th year. And I've already replaced the tarp on it this last spring. Because the other one just kind of wore out and shredded itself. Anyway, as you can see right now, if you can see it very well, but I'll zoom in here a little bit. We got some flurries coming in right now, and I've got some super, super good neighbors. They just moved here this last spring. And they just a young couple, and they have to drive 60 miles each way every day to go to work. And so I've been here in this house for 5 years now, and shortly after I got here, I had a family move in to the house next door. They started having kids. In 5 years, they had 3 kids, and they're talking about 10. But they weren't very personable people. I think I seen them, talk to them one time in those 5 years. And this couple has moved in here now. They bought this place next door here. I've talked to them at least 5 or 6 times, at least. And this morning, it's down to 22 degrees, and it's been like 19 overnight, if that. And so today, I look out my door, and they've been cutting up. I lost a lot of branches, because not only did we have 2 heavy snowfalls already, but then we had an ice storm, which had these pine tree branches all the way down touching the ground. And a whole bunch of them broke up, ripped right off a tree, and fell right down underneath it. And that's a big tree. That's probably a good 150 years old anyway. It's almost 4 foot across at the bottom. But you can see the pile of the small branches that neighbor's wife cut up. She was just using a pair of pruning shears and a bow saw. And he was cutting up the bigger chunks with an electric chainsaw. And you can see that pile right there in the center of the screen. Quite a pile of brush and tree chunks, all pine, which, they're good for a campfire, but they're not good for anything else. And then I've got this branch here, which it's It's probably 15 feet long, and that's zoom back out here. That's it's bigger than my arm, so it's probably a 4-inch diameter for most of the length of that. And I wanted to buy a little toaster oven, only 900-watt toaster oven for my shuttle bus, to use on my electrical system. And I found one. It was only $25, I think it was, brand new. And but I couldn't get out for those 5 days during that last snowstorm that really dumped on us. And so I'm communicating with this lady who's got it. I'm thinking she lived probably maybe 10 miles away, maybe 12, I don't know. And I says, I want it, but I can't get to you. And she says, well, I'll bring it to you if you got the money. I said, yeah, I got the money. So during this nasty weather, her and her mother came out here and had to stay out on the road because my driveway was drifted right full. She waited up here with that thing and hand delivered it to me. But this toaster oven is still in the box, and I had her put it out in my little shed because I didn't need to see it. I mean, it was brand new. But in order for her to get up to the door even to get the money, she didn't have to. She could have climbed over it, but I couldn't climb over it, as old as I am. But she dragged that branch from, it was way up here. I just missed the house. And so she dragged it way over there behind the riding mower. And, people are good. I mean, they're darn good. Anyway, I paid her for that. She was happy. I was happy. Told her she didn't need to move that branch, but she did. And I got branches out back of the house that have come down off in the trees too. But these neighbors next door here, they created those two piles there. Come on, focus. And they were out there working for almost 2 hours, cutting that stuff up. And I told them, I said, you don't need to do that. That's my spring job. I always take my mower and my little dump cart and go around and hack those things up with a little electric chainsaw and my pruning shears and one of grabber sticks and stuff, and I've got a huge pile out there. It's about 6 feet tall already from 2 years of branches that have come down, and I've got a lot of these old maple trees. I don't know if you can see this one here. That one's really old too. That's probably a good 4-foot diameter there too. Anyway, so we've had 2 heavy winter storms where I had to clean off the top of my tarp tent because I had at least 4 inches each time. And then we had that ice storm, which it warmed up shortly after that, so the tarp tent didn't get hurt with that, and it was borderline freezing. But that tree out there, the pine tree, like there's several pine trees out there. I think you can see 5 of them. There's another one off camera here. But they had branches right down touching the ground. And the young family next to me here, they cleaned up all of that. I mean, the whole yard was just full of branches down. And I don't know how big they were because I couldn't get out there to take a look at them, but it's quite a pile of wood out there. And I've got 2 generators. I got one out here in the back of my shuttle bus, which is back right up to the house, so I can power up the house if we lose power. It's flickered on a few times already this winter, but I think it's because they're switching lines over down the road. Anyway, then out here, you can see it way out here. There we go. Got that brown box. That's got a nice 4,000 watt open frame generator. It's I bought it a couple of years ago, and it's just getting broke in. I mean, I've run it long enough to break it in, and got to change oil in it yet. But what I do is I put I fill it with gas before winter, so in case I need it. And the power pole is right there too. This isn't a mobile home, but for some reason they don't have the power coming up to the house as typical. They have a power pole out there like mobile homes have. And so I've got a cable where I can go out there and shut off the main breaker that goes out to the road. And then I can start that generator up and power up that main breaker out there to send power into the house. And that's plenty for this house. It's just a little 13 by 23. Used to be a Model T shed. Their house burnt down, the people who lived here years ago, and so they didn't have enough money, they didn't have any insurance, so they just fixed up this old Model T garage. And it works. It's insulated, warms up really easy. But yeah, I've got 2 generators. I don't need both of these generators. And they were over here working today, cleaning up all that brush. And I got to thinking, they've got some chickens over there that they brought me eggs from. And they're such good people that before they were done here, I called the husband over here and I says, I got 2 generators. I says, I would like for one of you or for you to take this big one. He said, well, I don't know how to run a generator. They're just young kids. Anyway, I says, well, I'll show you how to do it, and I'll come over there, when it's a little warmer, because 22 is just too cold to be outside right now. Anyway, I says, I'll come over and look over your electrical, and he says, it's a mess. It's just all tangled up wires down in the basement. And I says, well, you got a garage out there. Has that got power? Oh, yeah, it's got power. I says, well, that's where you want this generator anyway. And they got a big freezer and a big refrigerator, where mine are just small ones. I'm just a single guy. I don't need much. But I says, we'll load that inside of my cart right here. We'll load that inside my cart right here, and we'll tote that over and put it in your garage. And says you buy 5 gallons of gas to have handy, and we'll change oil on it after we get it running and warmed up. And because it's it's just still got the original oil I put in it for breaking it in. And I says, you guys can use that this winter if you lose your power, because we don't want your chickens to die or you to lose your food in your freezer. And I've never really had much of a problem here. I think the longest I've lost power was 4 hours, and that was a planned power outage that they were doing some work on the lines. And so I don't even mess with that, because you keep your refrigerator and your freezer shut, and they can easily handle 4 hours. But so anyway, I says, you guys need that over there in your garage, and me being generous, and it's holiday, so anyway, I says, let's get that over there, and I'll show you how to use it. And so he says, well, if you don't need it, can I buy it? And I says, well, we'll work out a price, because I won't need it. I've got this other one, which is plenty big enough for my house here. Anyway, so I'm going to give him a real good deal on that. It's that time of year, where you got to be generous. You got to be decent to each other. And so that's what we're going to do. But not until it's a little warmer out here, because 22 is just too darn cold to be messing around. Anyway, tonight is beginning of a new year, 2026, and I wanted to put out a short video just saying what's been going on. Like you see, it's snowing again right now, and I've had my driveway plowed out 3 times yet already this winter, and last year I think I only had it plowed out twice. I know I had it plowed out once. I'm not sure about a second time. So Michigan, gotta expect that. That's why I'd like to get my bus going. I'll get it all finished up, and I'm about ready to start the the solar stuff, putting the batteries in. And I've got 5 lithium batteries, and I've got heating pads to put underneath them because, the battery's been sitting for over a year, and I'd like to charge them, but you're not supposed to charge lithium below freezing, below 32 degrees, which is 0 in Celsius. And it's been that way just almost every day yet this winter. So I got to get the heating pads going underneath them after I get them installed, and then I'll charge them separately, not all together, because you don't want to, batteries might be at different levels. You just don't want to put a charger on all 5 of those at one time because they're just not going to balance out really good. So you charge each one, top it all the way up. Then you can bolt them all together and keep them charged up because they discharge also at the same rate. They're good batteries, brand new. I found room for a 5th one in there. I was only going to do 4, but why not? So anyway, I'm probably not going to do the solar panels on the outside of the bus until spring. So fiberglass body. I don't want to be drilling holes in it and putting in there riv nuts. They go inside the panel and then they expand for good strength. I don't want to put those in there and take a chance on cracking the fiberglass. It probably wouldn't, but because, it's probably good 3/16 thick. I know it's more than an 1/8 inch because I have to cut holes in it, for my with a hole saw. So anyway, I'll probably do the panels, but I can do all the rest of wiring on the inside. And I've got, I think I got 4 or 5 inverters from 12 volt to 110. And I'm only going to use 2,000 watt. I've got 2 of those. Yeah, I got 2 of those. I got 1,000 watt that I won't be using. I'll be selling that. And I've got 400 and a 500 watt. And the 400 watt is not inverter generator. It's just a modified sine wave. And for electronics, like your refrigerator and stuff like that, you want to have a pure sine wave. And I'm petting my puppy here, scratching his head while I'm talking because he's just a whiner. Anyway, he wants to get back in the recliner, and so do I. But anyway, the 500 watt is going to be running all of my any lights I have. Oh, I got something else to tell you here. But this could be running my refrigerator and my other refrigerator too. I've got 2 of them. I got the regular tall, about 4 foot tall dorm refrigerator that has got a big freezer on the top. It's a one separate door. And then I've got that camping refrigerator that's got 2 sides to it, freeze and refrigerate. And that can run off 12 volt or off 110 volt. Anyway, that 500 watt will take care of that without, causing a lot of draw on the batteries in between, where the 2,000 one is going to cause more of a draw if it's on all the time. And the only time I'm going to need that is if I'm running my microwave or a coffee pot or my toaster oven that I just bought. My microwave is only 900 watt also. I got a toaster for it, just a single slice toaster, which I think runs at 500 watts. But I got a few things electrical, but I've also got all of the gas stuff, a gas and diesel heater. So, but okay, now I wanted a recliner for my shuttle bus. And I want one of these wall-aways so that you don't have to have it 1.5 foot away from the wall before you even start to recline. And I'm going to turn you around here because I'm getting tired of holding this phone with one hand. Anyway, I wanted a wall-away, and I really prefer one that's been in an RV. And so looking on Facebook Marketplace, I found Rec Pro. You can look it up, Rec Pro, REC Pro, PRO. And they sell all kinds of camping gear. And they sell really nice recliners for your motorhomes. That's what most of your motorhomes have in them is Rec Pro, either a double or a single recliners. And I found this one on Facebook Marketplace, and it's just like brand new. It's Naugahyde, brown Naugahyde, which is what I prefer. And typically, I mean, you look this up brand new from Rec Pro, is $669 for this recliner. It's electric. It's got the buttons you push, to recline with it. It's not the kind that you stand up with, but it's, I wanted electric if I could get it, because I'm a little bit limited in space for the recliner width with all the other stuff I got in there. It was posted on my Facebook Marketplace for $50. And it was down in Wayland, which is about an hour and a half for me. And so I contacted them, and they said, sure, come on down. And they had it, it was still in their camper. So they pulled it out and wrapped it up with the fiberglass bag type thing that those things ship with. And so I got down there, had my $50 ready. And before I could almost get out of the car, they had me pop the trunk open, and they'd already separated the back from the bottom of it. And they had it up on some big, long 2x12 planks that are, they're probably 12 foot long. And this is back right up underneath that those planks. And they slid it up into my car. Bada boom, I didn't even have to touch the things. And these are people that are older too. They're probably in their 60s. I'm 73. And so I went back into the car to get the money, and they says, okay, you're good. And she come up by the car door, and I'm digging and digging for my money. She says, no. She says, I told you you're good. I says, what do you mean good? She says, no charge. I said, no. I says, that's, I got to pay you for this. Only $50, man. It's a $669 recliner. She, nope. She says, you're a veteran. And she says, you drove an hour and a half to get down here. You've already paid enough for it. Yeah, again, that's a holiday spirit. It's about people being decent. Not just because of the time of year, but just being decent. And being decent to veterans. I don't deserve that, but, they're decent. So I drove back home with a brand new free recliner. You can't tell this from brand new. There's no markings on it or anything. Anyway, that's enough for this video here. Go out there and treat somebody good. Treat somebody really good. Blessings will come back to you. More than you give. Anyway, this is Doug from @Tramp Traveler. And hopefully I can get down south this next winter. And I wish all you people could put together something and come down there camping too. I'd like to meet some of you. But like this video. I'd like you to subscribe. And I'd like you to make some comments. Yay or nay. Whatever. Ask me some questions if you want to. I'd be glad to answer them. I try to keep track of them. Anything that's new that comes across as a comment. But mostly I'd like to get some subscriptions going. And that'll, if you subscribe, and then you'll see a white bell up there. You push on that white bell, and you can push on it again to select the black bell. And that'll give you every video that I put out as it comes out. It'll notify you. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe or to receive or watch these videos. It doesn't cost you anything to like it or comment. It's 100% free to you, and I'd like to keep talking to you. So enjoy the winter, whatever you got, wherever you're at. I'll tolerate mine. Anyway, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Catch you later.